What's up guys, it's Scott from RC Mustsee, and today we're going to be unboxing the new Revo. Alright, so there it is. The highly anticipated Revo, the new version that everyone wants to get. Oh, what do I see in there? Oh yeah. Nothing like pulling your RC out of the box for the first time. And there it is, with no body on. You could see it is a massive car. You can see by the size of my hand, and I have gigantic hands. No, I don't. Big soft rubber, very tacky. You can see that patented design there of the rocker arm suspension. Alan, what is the official name of that suspension?
That is called a cantilever suspension.
Cantilever suspension. Very nice. Very plush. Truck, obviously, lots of travel for such a short shock, and I guess they achieved that by using the linkage and all those different parts, but pretty impressive. I don't know, maybe a little soft for bashing, but maybe not. Only driving it would tell. Lots of cool stuff, as we know from the box and other as we've seen about this truck. They've beefed up a lot of the parts. From what I understand, there are lots of X-Max components built into this, and that thing is built to last. We all know that. We know that this ESC comes from the X-Max. Is it sensored or sensorless, Alan?
Sensorless.
Okay, so yeah, sensorless motor. Not as much control as a race motor would have, but still, that keeps the cost down. Very big, beefy arms, plastics. Huge steel drive shafts. I think these are similar to the X-Max size, and in a smaller car that can only mean good things. You can see the inside of the hub there. The battery trays are on the side. They feed in from there, and these are actually, I just noticed that, those are cooling ducts for the batteries. That's pretty darn cool. A lot of thought went into this, it seems like. Kind of like a standard issue servo. Not any bigger than what I would see in a 10th scale car. I'm not sure what the specs are on that. Maybe you guys would know, but I don't. You see a big heat sink here, big giant thick motor plate. Everything has just been beefed up. And this is really kind of the ultimate basher, right? The X-Max, as cool as that is a little big, especially if you're running 8S, which is, I would say, pretty impossible to even control. And if you do have that, you'd need some kind of giant field or construction site to be able to run on. The Revo, to me, seems like a much more manageable kind of car that you could pretty much take anywhere and have fun with it and not need giant acreage to be able to really bash around. Take a look at the bottom here. Wow. Pretty sophisticated looking chassis. Not aluminum, all plastic, kind of that's Traxxas thing. They don't really go down the aluminum chassis way like Arma does, for example. But looks like very easy to use and easy to unassemble. Can see the steering linkage. Okay, well that explains it. There are two steering servos, so that's why they didn't look very big, because there's two. Duh. See a lot of adjustable turnbuckles here. Very massive, look like 5mm. pretty impressive. So does that. Got a little truggy wing on the back there.
And the demonstration.
So this is Alan. He is my resident RC expert, and he's going to go. He knows a lot more about this car than me. So Alan, tell me some of the good features of this new e-Revo.
All right, so they changed 90% of the car. If you knew the e-Revo before, you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, they just changed a little bit. But no, in reality, what looks like it is not. And I'll tell you the easiest example. These A-arms are 15% at least bigger than the old A-arms, are much thicker, stronger. So if you look at that as being thicker, recognize that everything else has actually been beefed up next to an old e-Revo. The tires, they added more tread, they added stronger rubber so you don't tear them apart. It's just a way beefier car, which the Revo definitely needed to get into its lineage, is to be known for some durability. A lot of cool features to it. 2200 kilovolt motor, truggy size motor, so it's just got a ton of power. On 6S, it's rated for over 70 miles an hour. Speed's not really why you should be buying an RC car. Anything can do 100 miles an hour nowadays. Not a big challenge. It's making a car handle at those speeds, and I think they got it with this one. It probably is going to be a very drivable car at 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
There's a lot of X-Max parts in this. So basically you have a lot of 5th scale parts making this car durable for what it needs to be. Starting with the X-Max speed controller. This thing, they probably aren't going to tell you on here, VXL 6S. This thing will handle way more amperage than this system will ever put through it. So it's just going to take a lot of abuse on your electronics. That's kind of key. The gears in it, again, you can't see them. They're all inside. But it's all X-Max gearing. They did away with the slipper clutch system that used to melt. And they have this vector torque drive system, which for backyard bashing is so much better to have a clutch that you really won't wear out.
Vector!
George! Get in the video!
The drive shafts on it are hardened steel drive shafts right out of the X-Max. So again, you just get beef 5th scale style in an 8th scale car. If you had knuckles before on an e-Revo for the previous e-Revo owners, you pulled these pillow balls out. Well, this is a much bigger, stronger knuckle. Putting my finger next to it, you can tell this whole thing has just been enlarged for more durability. Bigger ball bearings, bigger balls are always better. They just hold up a lot more. Servos in here, 2 2075 steering servos. I believe these are the same steering servos that the old e-Revo had, which actually worked well. I don't believe they had the metal gears, but I know there is a metal gear option for these at least now. And that was always a thing to have on an e-Revo, would be to have a metal geared servo.
It's like all plastic parts in the steering there, except for those 2 little turnbuckles.
Yep, and this was a key weak area on the old e-Revo. We know that this has a newer, stronger bulkhead on it. It's an all-new part. And I believe it's going to help the steering to hold up a whole lot better. There's a lot more bracing going on in here to help relay front impact back through the car and not have it stop at the front end now. The gearing on here, we used to be a pain in the neck on the old e-Revo to set your gear mesh. Anytime you had the motor out, you had to redo that. Now they have a pin lock system like they use on the X-Max. So you tell it what pinion gear you have, you lock it in place. Excuse me, no more messing with gear mesh. Downfall to the e-Revo I've always found is this little battery door. The problem I see with battery doors is it gives you a height limitation to the LiPo you can use. And that they're trying to limit you...
The Traxxas batteries?
I hate saying it. Yeah, they're trying to limit you to the Traxxas batteries. There are other manufacturers that make batteries that fit in here. And of course now that the new e-Revos have, we're going to see a lot more coming out to fit inside. But I want to be able to stack batteries and run all day long.
Sure.
Or, if I am going to put in a 8S system, I need a 4S battery for there. So you never know.
Very nice. Well, I'm pretty impressed. I'd love to drive it, but I don't think Alan's going to let me.
Not today.
Maybe next time we'll have a driving video, if I can persuade. But, man, I like it. Let's get a shot with the body on there. So we're putting the body back on here. Is there anything special about that?
So the body is, first of all, it's hot looking. It's like Captain America here. There's another one coming out that's going to have some green, same scheme, but with greens. So what's special about the body, this great roll cage top here, which follows to the roll cage underneath. They again took this from what works on the X-Max, works on this. Probably work better on this because the car is not as heavy. This has the auto flip feature of the
auto correct.
X-Max auto correct. So if you roll this over and it lands on the roof, you hit a button on the remote, it's going to try to flip itself back over. Works most of the time. So the way the body works, there's a hook on the front here that hooks into the front, and then in the back, it latches down. Makes it a little challenging for companies like Proline and J Concepts to come out with new bodies for it that fit working with the roll cage. They're starting to do it now. But who cares? This thing looks great, and you're buying this thing to bash on, so you want it to be great looking. You know, slides right into the wing. I think this may be a new wing, a little more durable than the previous one. Yeah, it's hot.